Carlos, welcome. Congratulations on what must feel like a whirlwind. We even saw you ringing the bell at NASDAQ.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Brandon. Yeah, that was, there's actually two companies we managed to put on the NASDAQ, WISeKey and SealSQ, which is our latest company. We did that in May last year. So very exciting for a Swiss company. You know, in the history of Switzerland, we had Logitech, I'm sure you know, the mouse company. We went to the NASDAQ. And us, there's nobody else on the technology front. So it's a very special occasion for the country as well.
Yeah, it's a major achievement. So, Carlos, to kick this off, can you explain your vision for WISeSat, SealCoin, more generally for transactional Internet of Things, and what you've built so far?
So the problem we are solving is that 4 trillion things are getting connected to the internet, right? So now we connect mobile phones, we connect some devices, but in the next 5 years, everything is going to be connected to the internet. Your car, your alarm system, your home appliance, the medical appliance in the hospital, airport appliance, smart cities. So everything is getting connected to the internet. So more things you connect to the internet, more cybersecurity challenges you have, because you just enough a hacker to get into one of those connected devices, which is not secure, it can compromise the entire infrastructure. So imagine a hacker getting into a video camera in an airport, which is not secure. Through that video camera, they can go into the access control and even the command centers. So cybersecurity is becoming a massive issue for connected, what we call the IoT, the Internet of Things. And this is our focus. I mean, we sell semiconductors. We have 1.6 billion semiconductors already sold around the world. So we have 1.6 billion objects already secured by our technology. And this was the first phase of the project, getting them secure. The second phase of the project, which is the one we started with Hedera, Hashgraph, is that once the object is secure, you want them to transact. So imagine a car transacting with a charger, electrical charger, transact to your electrical car, or a parking meter connects to your car, or your video camera connects to your TV. I mean, everything is going to be transactional. And in that transactional model, which we call the TIoT, the transactional IoT, you're not going to pay with a credit card, right? You're not going to go out of your car, go to your credit card and pay. It will be normal that those transactions are executed with tokens. So with Hedera, we develop a very powerful infrastructure. Hedera is very good on scalability, so you can scale fast, and this is a requirement, right? Because you have to move from maybe 1 billion objects now to several trillions in very short time. So scalability is a major issue. You also need low latency, so it is important for the transaction. The latency is a very important issue, and it obviously has to be very secure. So what we did is that we are using a decentralized ledger where we put the identity of every object in a Hedera blockchain ledger, so you can verify on the ledger whether that object is secure or not before you connect. So let's say again you go with your car, you want to connect to a plug, you are not sure the plug is going to transfer you malware, you're going to go to the ledger, check that identity, and then if that identity is on the ledger, then you trust the plug. So that's the Hedera project, and we also started to look the best way to track and trace those objects. Once you have the chip on it, you want to trace, you want to know where your objects are real time. And we look into Sigfox, LoRa, antennas, 4G, 5G. It was very expensive, and it was actually only connectable on 10% on the Earth surface, because 90% on Earth is actually sea, right? So we look into how can we globally connect those devices, and then obviously satellite, low orbit satellite become an option. And why now and not before? Sending a satellite 5 years ago was a $25 million one satellite. Now you can send the same satellite for $200,000, right? So we made a deal with SpaceX. SpaceX is obviously carrying our satellites, and we are, every time SpaceX sends a rocket, we are also with that rocket with our satellites. So we are creating our own constellation. We have already 17 in orbit, and more to come. And actually, in October, we are launching a new generation of satellite, which is even more powerful. So the vision is clear. I mean, in a few years' time, you will be able to track anything, anywhere from the space under your control. So let's say you have houses in different destinations and you want to check your alarm system in your holiday home, or you want to be sure that you are in an industrial development and all your headquarters industrial products are secure, the stock is well protected. You will be able to do that from the space. Plus, we are also using those chips in a sustainable way, because sustainability is important for us and also for Hedera. And we are also using this technology for track and tracing trees. You know, for instance, we have a deforestation project on where we are putting sensors in forests, then they are trackable through satellite. So we can check whether that forest is going to, anyone is trying to, cut the trees or destroy the forest. We will have that real-time early warning system from the satellite directly, so you can send somebody and stop that practice. So it is IoT, satellite, transactional, token-based, and that creates what I believe is going to be a massive business for everybody, which is the machine-to-machine economy. Objects are going to be transacting between themselves. Now it's humans transacting ourselves, but we only are 6 billion humans, and maybe only 1 billion of them, they have the transactional capability. Whether in objects, you are talking about trillions of objects. Imagine the massive economy that this will create when objects start to transact between themselves. So that's the project. It's very straightforward, and it is executed with an amazing group of people.
Well, you've explained really well, why you chose Hedera, but I want to get into the token portion of it a little bit. Of course, your token has been built or is being built on top of Hedera. Can you tell us a little bit about SealCoin and what role that's going to play in this whole thing?
So SealCoin is the name of the token. It is a utility payment token. SealCoin has two functions. One is authenticates and provides an identity of the object. So I am a camera, I am a smoke detector, I am a car, I am a plug. So that's the identity. Currently, objects don't have identity. They only have a QR code or a code bar, but it's very simple identity. This is an extra, it's like a birth certificate of an object. It's like the passport of the object. So the first thing the token does. And the second thing is the possibility of doing transaction settlement. As I mentioned before, you buying data. Let's say that you are an AI algorithm and you want to acquire data from a object because you need that data in order to build your LLM. So that data will be paid with tokens, with SealCoin. And an object will exchange services. Let's say that an object requires the services of another object, because that object, imagine a system that wants to get data from cameras, because those cameras allow the AI to monitor the cybersecurity. That video camera connection and data will be paid with SealCoins. So we're doing that within Hedera ecosystem. Hedera is a powerful coin itself. They have their own token. And what the token industry requires is use cases. I mean, we are empowering basically the economy by injecting a very concrete proof of concept on how to use those tokens, right? Which is everybody wins. Investors and they buy Hedera tokens win, investors and they buy the Seal token wins. And the end game is, as I say, moving everything to the fourth industrial revolution.
I love that vision. Now, you mentioned SpaceX. So when you post pictures with Elon Musk, it certainly raises some eyebrows. What you're doing seems to be right up his alley. Has he shown any interest in what you're doing with transactional Internet of Things?
Sure. I mean, I met Elon in Versailles at the Macron organized a very big event in Paris, in Versailles, in the Palace of Versailles, where he invites CEOs, and I was one of the 80 CEOs invited together with Elon Musk. And on my discussion, Elon Musk is very well aware of what we are doing, because we are the business case for him. I mean, sending SpaceX costs a lot of money. He's doing an IPO. For the moment, he's sending his own satellite, Starlink. But this is once Starlink is already in orbit, that's it. I mean, he needs new players like us using his transport capability to send more satellite, because this is how he makes money, right? He charges fees for that. So bigger is going to be the IoT market. More satellites are going to be sent because you need to track and trace more objects. More SpaceX launch processes will be guaranteed, and therefore his company company will flourish. And his vision is also very similar to our vision, which is decentralization. I mean, before this technology was in the hands of 2 or 3 or 4 multinationals that they control, basically. They had like a monopoly on the space. The vision of Elon is decentralization, means letting countries to have their own access to a space in a decentralized way, which goes very much in line with the blockchain philosophy, right? And this decentralization of ledgers. So he likes very much also the fact that this is a blockchain play in space. Nobody has done that before, right? This is the first time a blockchain place is happening from the space. Actually, to the point that we minted last year an NFT from the space. One of our satellite was able to mint an NFT from the space directly to a Earth station that we had in New York at that time. And actually, we showed that experiment in the Nasdaq Tower in Times Square. We are part of his business model, and the good thing for us is that he is willing to put us on his rocket because it costs a lot of money, right, to send a rocket, and so he's creating an environment where a company like ours can use his infrastructure to send more satellites.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. It seems like it is an aligned vision. So it appears as if you already have, land-based infrastructure in place, as well as those 19 satellites already in orbit, and that's growing, as you mentioned. And that would seem to be the hard part from my point of view. But I know that you're also targeting those smart homes, autonomous vehicles, other hardware. Do you have any deals with manufacturers to install these transactional Internet of Things sensors?
Yeah. I mean, we are a listed company, just giving you public information. For instance, Cisco routers, Cisco Wi-Fi routers are already secured by us. So 100 million chips have been installed in Cisco routers. Cisco routers is what you put in the middle of infrastructure, network infrastructure. So everything connects to the router, right? If the router is secured by the chip, then the satellite connection can facilitate the communications of the router. We have company like Medtronic. Medtronic is an American company that develops medical devices, then you assess your health at home. And you send those devices data and collecting from you personally from your health to the hospital or to your doctor or to an emergency situation, that those devices are secured by your chips. Or you have Parrot. Parrot is a very famous drone company, one of the leading drones company. They use our chips to secure the drone communication with the control center. So make sure that the drone can only be piloted by one person and no interception can happen there. So we are doing that. And actually we are triangulating now the satellite with the drone because the satellite might be far away from the chip and the drone is near. So we have satellite, drone, and then on the base we have the chip. So we are using drone to triangulate the communications as well. So in the future, this is with the addition of AI. AI is creating what you call AI agents. So they are AIs and they are very specialized in doing one thing, right? And those AI bots will be integrated in those devices. So the device will become intelligent themselves as well. So that's the third part, right? Identification, security, transaction. And then as we move forward, devices become intelligent so they can take their own decisions. And this is where it's going to be the next 10 years. I mean, we are moving into this industry 4.5 revolution where devices are going to be living with us humans in a way that they're going to be able to facilitate a lot of the work we are doing. Robotics, heavy lifting work, all that is done by those devices. Those devices needs to be controlled by human, not to create a situation where the device takes control on you, right? Which nobody wants that. So this technology prevents that to happen. And this is why those clients are using our technology for different fields like medical field, financial, interconnectivity, cars. Daimler use our technology, and Daimler is a very big car manufacturer in Germany. So all these companies, then they are using this technology as they are moving forward the fourth industrial revolution.
It's amazing. We knew this stuff was eventually going to come, but to actually see it come to fruition is incredible. So to wrap this up, what are some of the next steps to actually see all this come to fruition, see it come to reality? What are the next steps that WISeSat has coming down the line?
So now the WISeSat is sending more satellites. So the satellite that we are sending in October is from California, from the SpaceX base in California. Hedera is going to be very much involved in the launch. By then, the token is following its process, the regulatory approvals. We are talking to SEC, we are talking to FINMA, which is the Swiss regulatory company. And by the end of the year, the token will be available for both industry and investors. So companies will buy the token because they want to embed the token into the chips that they're already acquiring with us. In the next generation of chips that we are developing, which are post-quantum chips, the token will be already embedded. So the chip will have its own wallet introduced at the chip level. So you can buy a chip that you put into an object and put SealCoin in the wallet. So that SealCoin transfers SealCoin wallet to wallet. It's totally decentralized, totally adapted to the object itself. So what we believe and what we are developing with Hedera, as I mentioned, is a machine-to-machine economy. And that means that Hedera capability is going to be gradually injected into the SealCoin, and SealCoin will become more robust. I mean, we are doing the cybersecurity satellite part. Hedera is doing the blockchain part, right? And that combination makes a very powerful model.
It's absolutely incredible. Carlos, thank you so much for swinging on today, telling us all about WISeSat, around SealCoin, and everything else. Thank you for choosing Hedera, and good luck.
Thank you.